Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision.
Hi, everybody. It's Sunny and Char. I got you, babe. Well, today I have a legendary person here, but you look too young to be legendary. But he has captivated the music world and the dance world, stunning dancing for years. I don't know even how many years. And he's worked with, let's see, Prince and Celine Dion and Jennifer Lopez. And my God, you definitely have quite the resume. This is Tony Michaels, everybody.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Thank you so much for being
having
here.
me.
Wait, and what did I see? E equals MC squared. Who is that?
That's Mariah Carey.
Oh,
That's
wait.
her. Yeah.
You work with Beyonce too?
Yes, I work with Beyonce on
Oh,
Such a
my
Fierce album.
God.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that diva guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that takes a great tact and gift to put up with divas.
Yeah.
Let's not go any further with that one.
Okay.
But okay, so wait, what is E equal MC squared? I always say that that's where energy goes. That's why there's a spirit world. What was that?
That was actually she had an album before that called Mimi.
Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey, yeah.
Yeah.
Mariah had and it was a huge success. It was like a comeback album. I think she did like 7 million. And then they wanted to do a 2, but they didn't want to call it Mimi 2. So they called it E equals MC squared 2.
So
or square, you know.
You guys, my Char visionaries, this man is fascinating. He has the most fascinating story, and it's about survival, and it's about hope, and it's about creating your own destiny, and it's about success. And he's had a near-death experience. He had a very bad health situation. I want you to talk about it. I want you to tell us your story.
So I'm a self-taught dancer. I grew up in the hood, poor. The basic story. Mom was a mentally ill patient, and my dad. I didn't have a dad. I'm a twin.
You are?
So I have a twin sister. Yes. So my twin sister and my older sister were extremely close. And so I kind of taught myself how to dance until I was 19. Then I went to college and I started dancing. And
what did you do? Watch TV?
Watch TV. I'm a visual learner. I would literally watch a music video, and then the next day I could hear the music and I could see the choreography, and that's how I learned. So I was visually.
And what shows did you watch?
I was an MTV kid, so I was watching Pat Benatar, Michael Jackson's Thriller, eventually Janet Jackson, all the 80s. Everything, because MTV was so big and huge. So I would watch those different videos and then learn from that. And that's how I learned how to dance. Just pick up right away. And long story short, went through college, came out to California, and wanted to dance. Started auditioning, and I started booking gigs, and I eventually booked a large. I became a very popular dancer.
You came here from
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah,
okay.
Came here from St. Louis, Missouri. Came here from St. Louis, Missouri. Is $644 in my pocket on a Greyhound. And my cousin lived down in the Crenshaw district, and and just was like, I gotta dance. I had 3 years I had 1 more year of college to go, and I just had to go. So I got out here and just always believed in myself, always knew what I wanted to do, and got out here and started auditioning. And from one audition to another, eventually I started landing jobs, and those jobs became huge. And I started doing world tours with different people.
Like
working.
who?
First, I started with a guy named Montel Jordan, and then I started with SWV. These are all R&B artists. And then eventually Celine Dion came along. And I did a job for Celine Dion. amazing.
Wait,
That was
you danced with Celine Dion?
Yes, I did. I did a performance for Celine Dion on it was a radio award show in Vegas, and she was doing "That's the Way It Is," and it was one of the most amazing performances. And I'll tell you the story of that. Long story short, the story was she had been doing all these all these ballads, right?
Right.
And she wanted a song written by the same people that were writing for Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and NSYNC. And it's so weird. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it.
What?
It's kind of like I kind of had a kind of double. It seems as though every time I would work for somebody, I would always cross their path before I work with them.
You'd always what?
Cross their path.
You're
in some
kidding.
kind of
Before
way,
you worked?
I would, right. So with her,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, I
that
always
the universe tipped you off.
Always cross paths. And so for her, I worked with her, and the writers that wrote "That's the Way Love Is" actually wrote for NSYNC's "No Strings Attached" album, and I became a choreographer and creative director for that whole tour.
For
And
NSYNC?
For NSYNC, yeah. That was my huge break. So Celine had all these, so she wanted a pop song and upbeat and everything. She wanted to hire all these dancers, and she hired the dancers. And then we got to Vegas, and then she said, I don't want to look like Britney. I don't want to look, because Britney would always have a lot of dancers. Everybody had a lot of dancers. She said, what could I do? And so eventually about 20 of us wind up in the audience, because she didn't want to let any of the 40-something dancers go. Well, that was mine. I was like, you going to put me in the audience?
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So they put me in the audience. I wind up all over the screen, because I was in the audience just having a good time, and the camera was just capturing me. We went from the stage to the all up and down the aisles, and so it was a great experience. And she was amazing to work for.
And where was this in Vegas?
That was in Vegas. That was in Vegas. And then the following year, I wound up working with NSYNC.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You're guided.
Yeah. Very much so. Yeah, very much
You're
so.
blessed.
I'm extremely blessed. I mean, hey, nothing but
Wait
blessed.
till you guys hear the rest of the story.
So I worked with Celine, then I worked with NSYNC, and NSYNC was my big break. And then, and it's always every time, as I'm talking, because I don't get a chance to just kind of talk about it all the time, because I'm not a kind of guy that just kind of talks about all of what I used to do.
You're not a bragger.
I'm not a bragger at all.
You're not a bragger.
I just kind of go.
But I'm fascinated, so keep talking.
So I got a call in the middle of the night at 3:30 in the morning, and it was my friend Darren Henson. He had been working with Jordan Knight. He had been working, which used to be with the New Kids on the Block.
Right.
And he had been working with Christina Aguilera on the Genie in the Bottle album. And he did Enrique Iglesias. He had like 6 videos out at one time. And he calls me at I think it was like 2:33 in the morning. He's like, Tony, wake up. I'm like, okay, why are you calling me at 2:30? He's like, Tony, you gotta just wake up. So I wake up, and he goes, Tone, I'm on my way to the airport, and I just finished with Christina's Genie in the Bottle video, and I'm burnt out. And I'm going to Vegas to choreograph Bye 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 for NSYNC. I need an assistant choreographer. Can you be my assistant choreographer? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So he said, I need you to call the tour people, and they'll get you that whatever you need right now. I said, but when do you want me to come? He said, I want you to come right now. So I called him. And
I would have hung up the phone.
I called them, and it was the booking agent. She booked me, and I threw some clothes in a suitcase, and I jumped in my little Toyota Tercel and drove to LAX. And I left the car in the parking area where you can leave it. And and went, got everything. Everything was there for me. Got ready to get on the plane, and I see Justin Timberlake.
Oh my
and
goodness!
I'm just sitting there like, I'm getting ready to work with him, but he doesn't know I'm getting ready to work with him.
Oh my goodness!
And so I get on there. We get to Vegas, and in Vegas, everybody met up. Like Justin was coming from L.A., Darren Henson was coming from New York, and some of the guys were coming from Florida.
Right.
So all of us meet up in the luggage area of the airport, and so we all get in the car together and we start talking. And then Justin goes, it's so funny you're in this car, because as soon as I saw you, I knew you were a dancer.
Get out.
When I was looking at you in L.A. when we were getting ready to. So I got my big break there. And then we did Bye Bye Bye. And then they wanted to do a performance, and they wanted dancers. And so they hired me to dance, and I was assistant choreographer. And then Darren Henson got a big break for an acting job. And so he talked to them, and we had a meeting. He said, look, this, he was talking about me. This guy, Tony, he's a great choreographer. you guys could, bring him on and just, go ahead and give him an opportunity to work with you. You see, he assists me with Bye Bye Bye. So they gave me 3 songs to do for a world tour. And they left town.
Crazy.
And they said, when we come back, we're going to be ready to go into rehearsals. Well, 2 days after they left, I get a call from their manager, Johnny Wright, from Europe. And he goes, Tony, hey, they've just picked the second song, and it's going to be me. We're going to shoot the video, and you have the song. So it's a $2.4 million video.
Oh, my goodness.
So I go in, and I just go and shoot. We start shooting the video. And so I shoot the video, and the last day of the video, the last evening of it, I didn't have to be there. And so time went on, and 5 o'clock in the morning came, and Justin looked at me. He said, why are you still here? I said, because you're still here.
Oh.
And so he said, I said, look, as long as you guys are doing movement or any kind of choreography,
Right.
anything, I want to be here and make sure everything is okay. Well, that landed me a spot to be creative director for the world tour. My agent called me like maybe 5 hours later. I was asleep, waking up because I'd been up all night. I said, hey, Tony, what did you do down there last night? Nothing. Well, they want you to be their co-director along with Wade.
Amazing.
In the world tour. So it took off from there.
Amazing.
So I wind up working for them, and then Jennifer Lopez came along, and then Tyra Banks came along, and I'm in this whirlwind.
Wait, Tyra Banks?
Yeah, Tyra Banks, I did top model for her. I was on.
What did you do?
I was a judge and a choreographer for it. I'm the only choreographer that ever choreographed the only single she will ever have, and shot a music video for it. And
she sang?
She sang at that time. She sang at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so
We got to Google that one.
yeah, I did that video, very hot video. It wound up being amazing. But I was working with all these people, and great, huge, just doing great things. And right in the middle of me actually working for Tyra, I flew to New York to do top model, and she said, "Well, you want to be you want to choreograph I want to have you choreograph the video." I said, "But I want to be the judge too. I want to be one of the star judges hosting, whatever with you or whatever." She's like, "Okay, you do everything." During that time, I was extremely sick. My head was hurting extremely bad. I didn't know what it was. And I called my older sister, and she's a pharmacist, and I thought it was sinuses really bad, but I was having these headaches, and they were unreal. And I was still working. I was shooting like 10-hour days for I think we shot for like 6 days. And so I got back to LA, and I started resting. And I started just kind of spending a little more peaceful time away from everything. And it seemed as though that week I got this new album, and it was a Christian artist album, and I kind of was just spending this kind of spiritual time listening to this artist, and it just felt very, very just peaceful.
Right.
So that started on a Monday. So I started listening to that, and I stopped watching TV that week, and it was interesting, and it was like my spirit was building up for something. Like I didn't know at the time, but literally the whole week, I'm back in LA, and I'm just listening to this Christian album, and it was a worship album. So it's not your typical just church music.
Yeah.
And I just kind of was feeling the presence, and so I did that for 4 days. Well, I got up on a Friday morning, was supposed to go to a friend's wedding, and I got in a car and I drove to Crunch, which is a gym.
Gym, yeah.
So I was going to work out at Crunch right on Sunset and Crescent Height. And I went down to grab a dumbbell, and I heard something go like a big pop.
Where? In your head?
I just heard the sound, so it felt like it came from back, right? And it just felt like someone just took a bat and just like hit me so hard. And all of a sudden, everything kind of started just going slow. And I was like, oh, my God, what is... So, men, we try to kind of shake it off.
Right.
So I sat down, and I was like, oh, my God, okay, God, just what's going on? What happened? I opened my eyes, and everything was moving extremely slow.
Whoa.
And I knew at that moment, I was like, I could hear the Spirit of God just saying, go to the hospital right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, okay. And now I'm at Crunch. And what's interesting is that Cedars is all the way down the hill. Right?
I know where it is.
Cedars is right.
Right.
So I grab everything. By this time, my head feels like just nobody. I just felt like I had just been beat constantly, and so everything's moving slow. I get to I go and grab all of my stuff out of the locker, and as I'm walking past to go to the exit, I notice mirrors, and I look at these mirrors, and I'm going, and I look soaking wet, and my eyes are bloodshot red, and so I get ready to leave out, and I started feeling myself losing consciousness.
Oh no!
But I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to, I'm not telling anybody what's going on or anything. And I get out of Crunch, and there's an escalator. And as I am approaching the escalator, a great friend of mine named Tunde, he's Nigerian. I walk up to him as he's coming up on the escalator, and he says, "Hey, Tony, you look like you did 3 hours of working out." I said, "Tunde, take me to the hospital. Something just happened to me." Boom. Passed out. I was trying to get it out. Something just happened to my head. Take me to the hospital. Boom. Passed out. I wake up in my car. On the way to the hospital, I'm in my car. And I'm, regurgitating everywhere, and it's red. And it's so funny because I always have a sense of humor. I'm so silly at times. And so Tunde goes, "Tony, you're throwing up blood everywhere. What's going on?" He's freaking out, and I'm going.
Oh no!
I said, "Tunde, just let the window down. I had a raspberry shake, and that's probably what it is right now." So
yeah.
I asked him to call my twin, and I tried to tell my twin, what's going on, and I'm trying to be calm, and I'm just like, God's gonna take care of me. Just take care. Just be calm, you guys. It's gonna be okay. Long story short, I get to emergency, and I'm paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh no, you weren't.
And I'm hearing them go, "Get out the car, get in the wheelchair, and I'm just moving my head like this, and I'm going, "Oh, my head," and I'm screaming and yelling everywhere. And so they eventually picked me up and put me in the wheelchair, wheel me in, and so Tunde said they wheel me in. I pass back out again. I come to. I'm on a table, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They try to take an X-ray of my head first, and then Tunde said the next thing you know, he said they came out to him, and they told him, they said, "Look, he keeps throwing up, and we don't know what it is. We don't know what happened. What happened?" He said, "I don't know what happened. I saw him at the gym, and he said something happened to his head, and he passed out." So this young doctor said that I had thrown up on the doctor, and the doctor looked at it and noticed it was very clear and it was very elastic.
Oh.
And he said, so the doctor came on and said he's had a brain aneurysm, and we need to get him on the table right away. And so my twin happened to be on the phone, and they said, what do we need to do? They asked to speak to the doctor. He said, "You got to get here right away. He's at death's door. He's had a massive brain aneurysm." And we just need to get permission if we can operate on him. And they gave him permission, and then they're in St. Louis. So they try to get a plane. They get on the last plane with the last 2 seats that are going directly to LA, no stops.
Crazy.
Right? No coincidence.
No.
In the meantime, I'm going in and out of consciousness, and they've realized that I've had a brain aneurysm, but I'm hemorrhaging.
Oh no!
So I'm having what's called, eventually they found out what it was called. It's called a carotenoid brain aneurysm hemorrhage. What I heard, and I heard it back here, is because it was the base of my brain, and it was where the spine and the brain connect. And so what was happening, what I was throwing up was spinal fluid.
Oh geez, is that from working out?
What
was it
no,
from?
It actually eventually they told me it's hereditary. My father had it, and he was an alcoholic, so he's a Vietnam vet. And he had it when he was drunk one day, and he's got the mind of a 16-year-old right now. He had like about 4 or 5 seizures on the table being operated on. He never came back. They cut parts of his brain out.
I'm so sorry.
He paralyzed from that's what could have happened. That's what and so that's what they eventually found out. But it was a process of them trying to find that out.
Right.
So all through the day I'm hemorrhaging. I hemorrhage for 8.5 hours.
Oh gee.
And I'm opening my eyes, and every time I'm opening my eyes, I know everybody in the room, and I know what day it is and what's going on, but everything's moving slow. And
are you still paralyzed?
No, Absolutely not. Oh,
No,
oh,
no,
you talking
no, then.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still paralyzed.
At that
all I
moment.
can feel at that moment, all I can feel is all I'm doing is my neck. I'm not really sad, or I don't feel. I never felt death.
You didn't feel fear.
Not at all. Not whatsoever. Like there was no way I was dying. I was like, there's just no way. I'm not going anywhere. And so I would wake up and see people around me, and then I would see people that was not supposed to be in there, like friends. I was like, what are you doing in here? Like I was talking really slow, and the doctors were like, well, what's today's date? And I was telling them, but I was moving very slow. But then I was passing out again. Then I was screaming and yelling and crying for an hour. So what was happening was that the doctor said they didn't want to operate on me because I kept coming to. Most people that have an aneurysm, they're out. And they don't really know where it has happened. They try to cut their skulls
Right.
open where they think the location is at. That's what causes strokes and disabilities and things like that. And so eventually, I opened my eyes and I saw. I opened my eyes and I saw who is now my ex-wife, but she was my best friend at the time.
Right.
And I was like, what are you doing here? What is going on? And so, long story short, with
From
that,
St. Louis?
no. She was here.
Oh,
she was
she was
here.
here.
She's my best friend of 12
Okay.
years, but I kind of felt this love for her. I realized I was in love with her. She realized she was in love with me, so she was not supposed to be in the room. So that was happening, but that was another story.
Well, we've got to.
So it's another, yeah. And so, my best friend and my cousin said that about 5:30 or 6 o'clock that evening. So remember, this happened at 9:30 in the morning. They said they came out and they told them, the doctors came out and said, listen, Tony is basically hemorrhaging to death.
Oh, no.
He's hemorrhaging to death, and we don't know if he's going to make it. We don't know where the bus is at. And so we don't, his head is swelling up. But his head is so full of blood, we just don't know where the bus is at. What we need to do is get some of the blood off of the brain, and then we can find out where the bus, and we can go in and fix it.
Right.
We want to go ahead and drill a hole in the skull. They couldn't get permission from my sisters because they're in the air on the way there.
Oh, no.
And so they got permission from my cousin, and they said, we just think he's very, very, he's very strong. His body just keeps, his everything's what's going on with him. It would normally be happening to him. This wouldn't happen to someone that has had something like this. He's very like functionable, but non-functional. And so they said, we're going to drill it in, we'll drill a hole in his skull, and
Where?
we'll drain. And they drilled it like right here in my skull to drain the blood. They said, well, the only problem is that his head is so swollen, we could literally start that drill, and he can die. He could die while we're trying to put the tube in. We just want to let you guys know that now. It's very, So they said, well, go ahead and do it. And so all I remember is them putting me up on the table. Well, I guess while I was up on the table, so I woke up. And the first time I woke up and I was laying down and I saw all of these, I keep saying celestial beings because they were bodies, but they were clear, almost.
Wow.
It was like leaning into
Like
my
you could
bed.
see through them?
Yes, like I
Were
could
they
see.
light?
Like I could. Everything was light in the room. Everything was very light and clear. At the end was my two sisters, and they linked in. They were leaning in, so it was about 4 or 5 on each side, and I just was looking at them like, "What are you guys doing here? How did you get here?" And then the next thing you know, I thought I was woke, but then I woke up
Right.
after this. I guess after they had did the surgery or whatever, and I had the drainage in my skull, and my twin sister, and eventually later I didn't remember. I don't remember seeing them that day.
You don't.
I don't. So my twin sister said. So eventually, when I spoke with her, it was like maybe 5 days later. But at that time, I didn't remember. I went through 4 days of just screaming and yelling. They put the tube in my brain, and they started draining the blood. The idea was that they were going to drain as much as they could, and then they would operate on me. Well, in the middle of it draining, probably 5 or 6 hours, my twin sister said in the middle of the night, they noticed that that the blood was going down.
Oh no.
And then the level of it was like, they said my head was like a head of cabbage in a bucket of blood. And they noticed that the
my.
level of the blood was moving down. And they were like, wait a minute, something's happened. And what happened was they wouldn't move me, so they brought all the MRI machines into the I was in intensive care, ICU, and they said they figured out that my blood had clotted itself, so it had stopped.
That's crazy.
Right? So they didn't want me to go into a coma.
No.
They didn't want, so they stopped giving me medicine.
Oh.
Pain medicine. So I just kind of screamed and yelled for about 4 days. I think, 3 days. My sister said you would be screaming and yelling, and then you would be crying because the blood was in places it wasn't supposed to be, all over the brain. But they were like, we don't want him to go into a coma because we're afraid he may go into a coma and be trapped in the coma and not be able to, but be able to be aware of everything that's going on. That's how it seems like his body is, because he's so aware.
All right.
And so I asked my sister. So this happened for 4 or 5 days, and then I think on a Tuesday or whatever, eventually it gave me some medicine. I became more aware. By this time, I could move my arms.
You could.
I could move my arms, but they had completely locked my legs down with these things that constantly shook my leg. It was like 20 machines in there. It was beep beeps everywhere. I was soaking wet. My head was huge.
Can I back up for
Yep.
1 second? When you saw those celestial whatever beings, those angels with your sisters, were you at like literally pronounced dead at that time?
No, I wasn't. I was never pronounced dead. But
you just saw visions.
But I just saw.
You had visions.
Yeah, I just, I thought when I opened my eyes, I thought I was like finished with the surgery. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Right? I thought I was finished with the surgery. But evidently I wasn't, because right?
All this.
So when I asked my sister, my twin sister, I was like, what were you guys, who were the people that were standing next to you when you guys were in the room and you linked into and you looked and saw me and said, hey, Tony? And my twin sister said, we never came into the room together.
Wow.
And I said, what do you mean? She said, no, we came in one by one to first see you. When we first got there, you were out of the surgery, and we came in one by one. I came in first, and then 20 minutes later, I left. And Valanda is my oldest sister. She came in.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Do you have a theory?
Yeah.
What's your theory?
My theory was that God was showing me I wasn't gonna die. That they were.
My theory is that they love you so much that their energy was with you, even though maybe both their bodies weren't. Like one was there, one wasn't, and the angels with them, like they all had an equal amount of pure love for you to heal you. That's what I feel like.
Okay,
Like
I'm
that
with
energy of love. They were all there for your best interests, to save your life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it was.
So I feel, because you were out of it, is that you were connected almost psychically to the energy in the room.
I agree with that too. I agree with that completely, because can I tell you my sister said, she said these 4 days have been just crazy. Like, Tony, you wouldn't let nobody negative in the room. She said you would go, she said out of the blue you would just go, hey, no one, if you're mad, no. And you would ask me who was in the room, who was in the hospital,
Right.
who's in the ICU room with you. And we would tell you different people that were next to you and over there and who came in and whatever. And she said, and you would just start praying for them. I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
You prayed for them?
I would be praying for people while I'm sitting there.
Okay, that's amazing.
She said, Tony, you would be up all night. You never slept, because they gave me this, my brain was in a trauma state too. It was constantly shaking like this. And so,
Wow.
she said, so I had to take steroids, and those steroids kept you up, just kept you. I could not sleep. She said, so you were just praying for people, and you was doing this and doing that. And she said, you don't understand, like what you were, you were so amazing. I wish we could have videoed, this was 2003. She was like, we didn't have our videos on the phones yet.
Yeah.
And she, so I asked her about that. And I told her, I said, I don't know what that is. And so what I told her was, I asked her to go and bring me, I asked her to bring me that that worship tape that I was listening to.
Oh, the music.
The music. So I brought that into the to the ICU, and I would just play that and be up all night. Now, I was supposed to they were supposed to let me sit there for 3 to 4 or 5 days, drain it, and then go in and fix it. But my blood clotted itself. So you know what they did? They left me there for a month, and it took a month to drain all the blood off of my brain. So I sat in ICU at Cedars for a month.
Unbelievable.
And as I just knew that I knew that I wasn't going to die, and I knew I needed to be helping other people while everything was happening to me.
Is that what you feel the purpose of all this was?
Well, I always was helping people. I was always
Right.
there. I think the purpose of it, this was my take on it. When they told me what happened, they said it's almost hereditary for you to have this type, because it's not I had hypertension, and I didn't know I had hypertension.
Oh.
And my blood pressure was through the roof when I was with Tyra Banks. But it didn't happen there. It happened somewhere where I was safe enough to be able to go.
Right.
So I just felt like
You
God knew that this was going to happen. This was something that was supposed to take me out. But he was like, okay, let's just clean this mess up. This is just a mess. We're going to clean it up. And I want you to just continuously do what you need to do.
And when did your limbs start working again? Like you said, your arms worked.
So my arms was working. My legs, I didn't walk for 17 days. My body didn't process for 17 days.
And you're like one of those dancers that can do jumping and flipping and
yeah. That's
crazy.
who I am. I am an animated kind of guy, man. And so I wasn't thinking about any of it though. I didn't have a thought from moment to moment. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. It was times when I would be in that room by myself, and I just would be praying, and I would just be, because this is my take. I think death lingers. Where I was at, death was lingering, and I was going to live. I was going to make the decision to either live or die, and I was like, I'm not going to give death an opportunity to even take me again while I'm in here. So I kept myself just up.
So you're one of those people that believe attitude is most important for healing.
Oh, absolutely. I think
Like frame of mind and attitude,
Yeah,
right?
and to me, words are the most. They frame the earth. So and I would just confess, I'm healed. I'm whole. I can walk. I'm not. They came in and they said, look, we're not going to operate on you, but we may have to put a shunt in your head. I said, you're not going to have to do that with me. And so my twin came in, and I said, listen, I'm going to just tell you what they're saying they're going to do. I'm not telling everybody else. Because I believe in positive attitude, but I also believe in words. Words are
Right.
so incredibly
Powerful.
They're
Yes.
so powerful. Life and death is in those words. And so I told her.
Yes.
And I said, don't you say anything, but I'm not going to get a shunt. And so the 17th or 18th day, I'm like I said, my body wasn't eliminating anything, but I could feel the energy of death in that ICU room. I could
Right.
feel it, but I wouldn't allow it to even come into my space. I wouldn't allow it. I was like, I'm not having it. I'm not. Now this is somebody is not even. Remember now, my brain is so. It's to me. I wasn't thinking. It was my spirit that was living through me, not my brain. Because if my brain was still
Because your
jacked.
spirit was so powerful and your spirit was keeping you alive
That's right.
because you knew you needed to be alive.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because we are spirits with bodies. We're not bodies with spirits.
I believe that.
You're a miracle.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a miracle.
For sure.
But so the lesson in this for all of us, if we could take home a lesson, what is it?
What I realized is that I could have accepted that I was going to die right there, and fear could have came in. I could have died.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah.
Because I believe sometimes there are choices that we have.
Oh, I believe absolutely, but I believe that week that it happened on a Friday.
You were being prepared.
I completely believe that completely.
You're a miracle. I am so honored that you're here telling us
Thank
your
you for having me.
story.
I never get a chance to really tell it because life just kind of comes and takes you in. When I was driving over here, I was thinking, you, and my twin keeps reminding me of this. She's, Tony, you just have so much more. Don't allow all these the things of the world to really take you down when you have so much to share.
This is a spiritual lesson for all of us. And also to prepare you for your next chapter of where you're going and your success and what you're doing. You know that, right?
I believe that, yeah.
I feel that. Would you ever come back when I do readings and allow me to read for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do that.
Absolutely.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you?
You can connect with me at TonyMichaels.tv. That's my website. If you want to leave
TonyMichaels.tv.
yeah, that's my website. You can
So if you need a choreographer
for anything.
For
I do
anything.
everything. I do a lot of artist development. I do pretty much everything. You can also go to Tony Michaels _ TV for IG. I'm on Facebook.
I just feel there's a whole new thing coming for you. But you come back and I'll read for you when we have time and
Okay.
and I'm in that head.
Okay. Well, let me tell you just this.
What?
So, I'm in that hospital for 4 weeks, right?
Okay.
And they're coming to me and they're testing me.
Yeah.
Do you feel this? Do you feel that? And so I woke up one day. By the way, the insurance company didn't. I mean, it was so many different miracles. When I did wake up on that 5th or 6th day, I had a guy named Dr. Black standing there. He is the head of neurology for Cedars, but he's also across the country. He's the top neurologist in the world, one of the top, right? He goes, "Who are you?" He's asking me this. I got this big turban around my head, and he goes, "Who are you?" I'm just Tony Michaels. What happened to me? He said, "I don't know, but so many famous and important people have called me. You're not going to go anywhere." So I had insurance, right? The insurance only covered 30%
Oh no.
of what this
Oh
thing
no.
was, right?
And you were
30%,
there
right?
for a month, over a month.
$1.2
Million.
million,
$1.2 million.
right?
Oh my God.
And so I got ready to get out of ICU, and they said, "We want to go ahead and we want to put you in." So after they had eliminated my funds and my account and insurance that said this is what we're going to pay for, they were like, "Well," the doctor was like, "Well, we're not going to move him. We're not moving him to any other hospital. He's going to stay at this hospital.
Oh.
He's going to stay right here." So when I got ready to move out of the ICU room, they go, "Well, we're going to move you into the Elizabeth Taylor suite."
Oh.
Right? It's a huge suite. Now, remind you, my insurance is all crazy. So then they go, "We want to test you." So they got me out, and I had one seizure, right?
Uh-oh.
Well, the night before they got me out, they were supposed to come. The night before they were supposed to take the tube out of my brain. In the middle of the night, I just wake up and I feel something running down my face.
What was it?
Well, it was the water coming from the tube because the tube had just popped out. So they never had to go.
Oh, they never had to put the thing in.
They never had to go and they never had to put the
stent.
the stent in, and they never had to go and take the tube out. It came out on its own.
Okay, you're like...
I didn't get a stitch. I didn't get a stitch.
You got angels watching over you.
That's right.
You got angels that work overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your faith. I love your faith in God. I love your faith in your angels. I love your attitude. I feel like you should be doing inspirational speaking.
Oh, I think so too. I would love to.
I'm telling you,
I would love
what
to.
you just told me and what you did, I feel like you could be like touching many, many minds and hearts and souls and spirits.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you
this
so
with me.
much for having me.
Oh my God! But
Thank you for having me.
When I hugged him when he came in, he's like solid hard. Like you would never know you went through this whole thing. There's not even a scar on your
There's no
forehead.
scar up there, no. I don't have any. When I got ready to get out the hospital, the day I got ready to get out the hospital, the doctor walked over to me, and he said, "I'm just going to tell you this. I've been finally practicing for 6 years." He said, "And I've met 4 or 5 people that had exactly what you had. 95% of the people that have the kind I have die. Only 5% live, and only out of the 5, 2% live functioning." He said, "You are a miracle."
You
Doctors
are
don't say
I'm
that.
telling you, you're a miracle.
You know?
Before you go, what is the music in case people want to?
It was CC Winans, the famous Winans family. It was CC Winans' throne room.
CC Winans' Throne Room. I'm going to download that. It sounds to me like that's a very special spiritual song.
It was so amazing. It was so, and I really believe that if I hadn't have built myself up that week like that, I would have been prone to other things.
That's why prayer is important. That's why meditation and prayer and positive energy is so important. Thank you so much.
Thank you
You've
for
taught me
having
so
me.
much today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my!
I would love to
goodness.
come back and talk
I
to you.
can't
forever.
wait. Okay,
you know I'm a talker,
totally
so
going to do it again. Oh no! You're going to be invited anytime you want. You're
whatever you want me to
special.
do. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I mean, amazing. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching CharVision, and I want to thank Tony Michaels for being here, who's taught us that miracles really do happen. They really do. And I want to thank my other guests. And oh, you know what? Don't go away, because I've got one more thing. I've got one more thing that I want to share with you. Hi, everybody. It's Char. Well, many of you have asked if I teach psychic intuition, and I do. Everybody has a sixth sense. Everybody has an ability to prevent problems and attain goals in their lives. And I'd love to teach you. Just go to char.net, CHARNET, and join one of my classes. And call Nikki, and she'll help you out. Remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Okay, we're back, and I have a lovely lady sitting with me. Her name is Maria. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here
Oh my
and
goodness, thank
allowing
you.
me to talk to you. You know, it's always a privilege when people let me read for them. It is. It's a personal thing.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Okay. So, I just need you to be open-minded about everybody living and deceased. Don't say any names unless I say it first. Then you can repeat it and say, yes, you're right, it is so-and-so. But the more that I can give to you, the better message you're going to get. I always say a prayer of protection before I do this. Not that this is a religion, but as in everyday life, there are good and bad people, there are good and bad spirits, and I don't take any chances. So I'm going to say my prayer. There's a lady standing with you. Let me say my prayer, and then we're going to start. We ask the universal consciousness and God that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. Is your mom deceased?
Recently, yeah.
Recently. Okay. I feel like your mom's around you. Did your parents have a divorce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And is there a J or G person?
Yes.
Is that your mom or your dad?
Both.
Is your dad a J or G?
Both. Those are his initials.
Okay, but his first name's a J?
Mm-hmm.
And the last name's a G?
Mm-hmm.
And in the first name, is it J with an O in it?
Yep.
Like John or Joseph?
Yeah. John.
John? Your dad's spirit's with you? And I feel like he and your mom have come to terms about things. I feel like when your mom passed over, like the energy was more healing. Was there an issue with them communicating after they divorced?
Oh, sure.
So it was a problem.
Yeah.
I feel like they want you to know that they came to terms with things and that, like, maybe there's forgiveness. I feel like your mom is really trying to come in here to let you know that she's at peace, that she transitioned to the other side and is at peace and is like happy with knowing that she's with her loved ones again.
Did you have an issue communicating with your mom?
Wow, that's an interesting question. She spent the last 2 years of her life unable to speak.
Yeah, because she's saying she can communicate now.
Yeah.
Was she like in a coma, or she just
No,
couldn't talk?
she
Or was
couldn't
she? Did
talk.
she have Alzheimer's?
No.
What
She kept
what
having
caused
strokes.
her? Oh, strokes. Okay. She wants you to know she can talk now, that she can communicate, that she's back to her old self, her normal self. She wants you to remember her like she was.
Yeah.
I mean, like she was before she got sick.
Right, sure.
What? Do you have? Why am I seeing a stuffed animal? Or do you have a dog that died?
She did, or I guess we both did.
She had a dog that died.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who I'm getting. I think I'm getting the dog that died. I feel like she wants you to know she's with the animal that died.
Oh.
I just didn't know what I was seeing, if this was real or fake, the vision I had. And there's an S or an M, or was there an S or M with the dog, or a C or S?
Oh, my sister.
She's a what?
A C.
Is she CH or C?
She was it's
Is it like Chris? or
Chris without an
Chris?
H, without the H.
Yeah, I'm hearing Chris. She's talking about Chris. So Chris is living, right?
Yeah.
And you connect with her, right?
We live together.
You live together. Okay. She wants you to know that she tries to come and hang out with you guys.
Oh.
And she's grateful to you guys because you both really worked at making sure she was okay. Like you
thank
watched
you.
over her, you took care of her.
Thank you.
And you work hard. You must have a job. She's saying you work very hard.
Oh.
She's saying that you're very dedicated to your job, and your job's not easy, but it's fun. It can be fun.
I'm about to say exactly.
It can be fun, but
Sure.
it's stressful. And do you work around entertainment at all, or
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah.
What do you like? Work around TV, or
TV.
are you involved in TV?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, anything with TV is stressful. I feel like you have security around your job right now, but were you worried about something at the company? Are they changing something?
Well, it's a company right now that I've been with for a while, but I come and go because the projects,
Come and go.
you come and go, yeah.
And are you opening doors for other things with work, do you produce?
Yes.
Okay, do you do other things with work? I feel like you're supposed to open some new doors with opportunities for other things with
Desperately
work.
trying.
Just keep doing it. Just keep looking. And also, are you looking other places?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just keep doing that. There's going to be opportunity for you to do something, and it's going to be good for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But Chris is working, isn't she?
She keeps very busy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because your mom says Chris is like busy or working. So that's good. That's good. Were you considering taking a little trip, like going away somewhere?
Always.
Yeah, but do you have a plan to go this summer somewhere?
No.
I feel like
Nothing specific.
I feel like you're going to go somewhere, like either for a weekend, or do you ever go to New York?
I was going quite a bit, and I haven't been in quite a while.
But do you like New York?
I love it.
I feel like there's going to be some opportunity for you around New York, or a trip to New York, or a connection. Do you have people there who would hire you, or?
I don't know.
Well, I would start looking there as well.
Okay.
I mean, just keep doors open in different places. That's the message for you. So John is your dad?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still speak with his wife, his other wife, your stepmom?
I see both of them.
Yeah.
He has not passed over.
Oh, your dad's living.
Yeah.
Why did I think he was deceased? Is there someone else? Is his dad a J?
My mother has another husband who's deceased.
Is he a J?
No.
Or G?
No.
Okay, but there's another husband deceased. I might be mixing that up
Okay.
because your message was that your mother and father.
Well, probably
No,
My-
maybe your mom forgave your dad.
Yeah, that's
maybe
where I was
that's what
going.
maybe that's what was
That's where
coming
I
up
was
because I
going.
kind of thought he was there too.
No, he's
Is there an R or B or R or D, or is there an R in the other husband's name? And who's like David or Dan or D, Don or Doug or D?
That I don't know.
Is there a D connected to your dad?
No.
Okay, guess what? I did not touch it, and Siri is going on. I did not touch it. You saw I did not touch it.
I did.
Every time I'm reading now, Siri's going on by itself. Do you have someone deceased that's a D?
My mother's last husband's middle name?
Was it like David or Daniel or Donald or Doug?
Dual.
Dual? I bet it's him.
Okay, bud.
Trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
Oh my God. All right, bud.
That's crazy. Did you say Bud?
That's everyone called him Bud.
I asked if there was a B
I didn't
initial.
even think. Oh my God. Okay,
Siri
Bud, I get
knew.
it. I'm sorry.
Siri knew you weren't connecting.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bud.
you guys, this is crazy. All week, I got the phone. You know, I do private sessions, and all week, the phone is like far away from me, and it's going off by itself and
my
giving
God.
messages. It's crazy.
Okay, I've been ignoring Bud. I'm sorry.
Okay, and who's that again now?
My mom's husband.
Oh, your
My
mom's
stepdad.
husband. Okay, so but he's deceased.
Yes.
So he must be with her. That's good. Do you have any questions?
I suppose if I were going to ask one question, did my mom want to say anything else to my sister or about my sister?
Does she work too hard?
She runs around too much.
She
definitely
needs to rest more or have more balance in her life. But that I don't know anything else.
Okay.
I just feel like she needs more balance in her life. Does that make sense?
Total.
But she doesn't know how to sit still anyway, so she needs to keep moving. That's what makes her happy. She loves you,
Aw.
and you love her.
Yeah.
You're good friends. You know, and you trust each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's important to have people in your world that you trust. You know? I really think when your mom and John divorced, it really took a toll on you.
Yeah, I guess. I think more so on my sister.
I think on both of you.
Yeah.
Maybe she showed it more, but
Yeah.
I think you keep things inside.
There you go.
You're not a complainer. You're like a doer.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so what did we cover?
All sorts of things.
We covered your mom because she just passed.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry about your loss with your mama.
Thank you.
It's never easy to be orphaned
No.
at any age.
But as you say, now I feel like she's doing better and she can communicate.
Yeah, and I really feel like she's forgiven your dad.
Oh, good. Okay.
So something must have gone on there that wasn't good.
Oh,
Something wasn't.
I think they were intense for both of each other.
Yeah,
For each other.
yeah. There was stuff there that wasn't good. But she's forgiven him, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, did she divorce Bud or Bud died?
Bud died.
So that must be the dad. I see your stepdad. Bud is with her,
Oh, good.
and that's a good thing.
And with Siri.
And Siri, is that crazy? Thank you so much.
Thank
I really appreciate it.
you.
It's
Thank
a pleasure.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, everybody, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And go with your gut. Bye-bye.